Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your What's Cracking for Sunday the 21st of October. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I continue to grow daily and I continue to be a little overwhelmed by it all, but that's okay. I had a busy night last night with some beautiful people doing readings to raise funds for breast cancer, which was really nice. I really enjoyed the evening, met some beautiful people. If my readings don't resonate with you, just move on. You don't have to comment. It's not necessary. I understand if they don't resonate. So the cards I'm going to use today are the After Tarot. A couple of things. First off, I've got some more of the weekly readings to do, and I'll do them later on today. So if you're missing your star sign, please don't fret. They are on their way. And there was something else too. Oh, radio. I wanted to say that Sagittarius had won the most watched video last week. But I wanted to say a special thanks to Cancer and Libra because you were close runners-up. And you know, I'd like to do readings for all three, but that wouldn't quite make sense. So I just want to acknowledge that both of you were very close behind the Sagittarius. And Libra, you continue to be one of my biggest followers, and I am really so humbled by that. Alrighty, let's get cracking. Okay, the cards want to split there. Okay, oh, Ten of Wands. So it feels to me like you're finishing up a cycle here. Whatever it is, you've had enough and you're putting it down. It's become too much to carry, too much to bear. Now the wands represent like passion and fire, and they can represent a fire sign. So it could be that you've had enough of a fire sign in your life, a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and you've decided to put it away. But something you've put to rest here. You really don't want to deal with it anymore. It's become too much for you to bear. You can see by the look on his face here, he's just had enough. The really nice thing is, though, he's kept one wand in his hand, which gives him the opportunity to finish out that cycle and move on to the next cycle. And yes, I am in my dressing gown. I wanted to do the readings before I went to visit family today. So, okay, so the first card we had out is the Seven of Swords. So now seeing that Ten of Wands followed by this card, it feels to me like the person you were dealing with may have not been honest with you for some reason. It could have been that they weren't honest about their feelings. It could be that they weren't honest about someone else that they had in their life or something they'd done. But there's this definite feeling here that they weren't honest with you, and you've had to now put it down and walk away. Okay, but there is a brand new start coming in here. Because what we see here is we see the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords talks about having clarity and a new start, being able to speak your mind, being able to move forward, you know, with sort of, I always think, you know, when you see someone in battle, you know, going forward into a fight, it's sort of that sort of feeling where you are able to sort of, you know, have a little bit of an upper hand on this one. Again, with the sword, so around this situation, there are lots of thoughts. There's a lot of thinking here, but the good thing is you're about to move into a very different cycle, and I like that because it says to me you've done your work and you're ready to move on. So definitely a new start here. Okay, so this card here, the Nine of Wands, talks about putting boundaries up. It talks about, it could be that you've, you know, when I look at this, I think, okay, it could be to me that you've had to break down a situation, let a situation go through some sort of dishonest behaviour, dishonest approach, whatever. You're now having a new start with the Ace of Swords, but it feels to me like this is a card that says, make sure this time that you have your boundaries in place. You know what you want, you know what you stand for. This card is sort of saying, make sure that before you move into the next situation or before you go forward with your sword here, that you ensure that you have a really good understanding with people about where you stand on things. So the Nine of Wands talks about putting boundaries up. We do call it the card of the wounded warrior, and you can see he is wounded here. So what the idea and thinking behind this energy is, you've already experienced something so many times before, and you know it's the 9 of the suit, which means it's sort of getting quite up there. And what the card is saying to you now is you need to think how to put your boundaries in place before you move forward on the next thing. Just sort of like put a little bit of protection around yourself so you don't get hurt. Yeah, because you're moving into this independent energy here. So I feel like for some of you, this is letting a relationship go through possibly somebody being dishonest, not speaking their feelings, not being truthful with you. But it's good because you're starting something new. If it's a relationship, then make sure with your next relationship you tell the person what you're prepared to put up with and what you're not prepared to put up with. Because something here, it wasn't quite right. So you've moved forward. And look at you. Your glory. You're glorious. Look, standing there in all your glory. You're feeling very independent, very comfortable with being independent. You know, whatever's happened in the past, you've now got your Ace of Swords, so you're ready to move forward here. And you're determined. It's beautiful. And you could be looking at lots of options here. This can be the card of illusion, delusion, but it also is the card of having lots of things to choose from. So it could be that you're moving into a time where you like that you've got lots of things in front of you to look forward to, but it could also be that if you've come out of something that was quite demanding, for example, if this was a job that you've put down and left behind because of dishonesty at work and you're about to set out again, make sure before you go into your next job that you put down those boundaries, tell people what you're prepared and not prepared to accept, because as a single person and having this beautiful independence in this card, you have the right to say to people, I don't want to put up with this, I won't put up with that type of thing. But what I feel is happening here, it sort of doesn't feel so much about confusion as, where do I go now? What do I pick? What's my journey? What's my direction? That's what it feels like to me. Okay, and look at you go with your Queen of Swords. Okay, so you could be dealing with someone who is an air sign, or this could be you, because this is a general read. So obviously this is Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. But you're really sitting there just really sure, really confident about what you've done now. I mean, this Queen holds her sword high. She's not, she's opening her arms to welcome things in. But I think for some of you, it's like, yeah, come on then. Bring it on. Because you're just so much in your element now and so ready to face whatever you need to face going forward. Now, you could be dealing with an earth sign. So I feel like this Queen of Swords is most likely your energy. Now I've put this down. This definitely is the energy of someone else. So it's an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So you could be dealing with someone with one of those signs, or they could be a very honest, down-to-earth, practical person, or alternatively, they could have just a lot of earth in their chart. So it's more than likely, because she's facing this person here, very strongly a Taurus here as well. So what the cards are saying here is that you are now willing to cut anything out of your life that doesn't serve you. It's not just about leading now and making your way forward. It's like, I would deal with anything that needs to come towards me. I'll put my boundaries in place. This 9 of Pentacles looks as though you're sort of thinking to yourself that you value yourself highly. You think you're worth it. If somebody else doesn't desire the same as you, or somebody in your workplace isn't treating you with the respect you deserve, you're in a position now where you're quite confident about cutting it off and moving on. This is beautiful. Look at this. Because this has served you very, very well. The universe is about to reward you for this. So the fact you've stood your ground and let something go, dropped something, moved on, you've had enough self-respect, and the universe is saying now, well, because you respected yourself and you've understood your lesson here, you're moving forward with a brand new start with the Ace of Swords, but we'll also make sure that you're provided for in every other way as well. I really like that. So it could be that you're now walking into a job which pays you a lot more. You could walk into a relationship that's far more stable. And on point with your intuition, guys. absolutely on point with your intuition. I like this because this also says to me that is whatever's happened in this past situation, whether it be a relationship, a job, a family situation, whatever, you've really tuned into your intuition to know what you needed to do to move forward. I like it. So very good with that. You've definitely learned a lesson here. So you might be feeling a bit sad about it at the moment. This card sort of talks about being left out in the cold, feeling spiritually low, maybe not having any money at the moment if you've given a job away. But don't worry, this is a very quick energy and it moves straight into a very balanced card. So this is only very temporary. It won't last for long. It's just how you're feeling at this moment in time. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card from the Lay Vampires, an oracle card to put on the top. Whatever you've done here, it's like really a very straightforward reading. You sort of walked away from something and you're walking on to something better. But what I love about it most is your intuition's really on point here. So whatever you felt you needed to do, you followed it through. You haven't sort of sat in that energy for too long. You've made your decision and you've walked away. Okay, so the card we have out here is Immortal. Still reading from the book, guys. I apologise for that, but I'm still learning. Okay, so these cards are the Lucy Cavendish ones. They're absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to read what it says here. Can you see that? Look at that. The love and closeness of this group has given you a great sense of who you are and what you are on earth to do. But we ask you now to shake up this situation as it is leading to a shadow of your soul development and a stunting of your human growth. You are beyond the definitions of the family or the peers of an adoptive family. You are more than they say you are, more than they allow you to be, more than you have permitted yourself to be when in their orbit. It's time to separate. Isn't that beautiful? That's perfect for that reading. So what they're saying here is this situation you were in did not serve you as a person. It didn't serve your growth. It didn't help you to evolve. It wasn't a situation you needed to stay in. So what they've said is by moving on, you have the opportunity now to be who you truly are. So that's a lovely reading for today. Thanks, everyone.